Welcome back to I Know Football. It's been a minute since I dropped a video for you guys, and it's been even longer since I've done a night video, but I felt like doing something special. As you guys may know, Nike dropped their latest football cleats in the Vapor line. These are the new Vapor Edge 360 VC cleats. They're supposed to be an update from the Vapor Carbon 2014 cleats, which are an update from the Vapor Carbon cleats of 2010. Now in this box, I've got the latest cleats. They only came in one colorway, so there's still tons available, but I'm hoping in this video, I'm gonna do a review and also compare them to the Vapor Carbon 2014s, which I still have because they're some of my favorite cleats. All right, we're gonna get right into the video. I've got the new Vapor Edge 360 VC cleats here, and I have my old Vapor Carbon 2014 cleats. Now, these are some of my favorite cleats. It's why I still have them. If you guys have been a fan of the channel, you guys have seen this on my channel for a long time. I've even changed the color of these with custom paint, and I still have them and still wear them, still playing them, still love them. These are some of the most favorite cleats by NFL players, by college players, by amateur players alike, and they've updated it and gave us the new VC cleats, the 360 VC. Now, in the description on the Nike website, what they say is they've kept the upper that everyone liked in this cleat, and I'll go over why everyone liked it, but they say that they kept the upper, and the only thing they updated was the new Vapor plate. And this is one of the best plates that Nike has produced. I've talked about it on their other cleats and my other videos. This is also one of the best plates that Nike has produced. I've also talked about that in older videos. So what are my thoughts? What are the differences in these two cleats? Is the new version better than the old version? That's what we're gonna get into. And I'm gonna break down all the differences and tell you what part on which cleat do I think is better. Now, the first thing we're gonna get into is the bottom of the cleat because that's what they say is different. Now, we're gonna start with the new cleat. On the new cleat, this is the new Vapor tread pattern, and I absolutely love it. If you look at these stud differences, they're a lot more angular and they can pierce through surfaces and grip the ground a lot better. That's gonna work better on grass and turf alike, better than these cleats. Now I'm only talking about the tread pattern on the angular studs of these cleats. Now, that's kind of where I think the better part ends in this cleat. This cleat is really good because it's got carbon. And what's so good about carbon? This is a split plate design that's gonna allow for a little more flexibility in the plate. But carbon is really stiff, really light, and it actually has a spring effect. Now this is a full carbon plate, and when you get that toe off, you're gonna get that extra propulsion in the cleat, more than I think you're going to get in this type of plate. Now I'm not sure what type of plastic it is. I'm sure it has some springiness. They decoupled it for a little bit more ground feel, a little bit more mobility, but I would still take a carbon plate, a full carbon plate like this over this cleat alone. So we're gonna give a point to this cleat for having a full carbon plate. I think the traction is better, but this traction is still pretty good. All right, now the second difference on this is going to be the heel counter of the cleat. Now the good thing about this new Vapor plate is it has an incorporated heel counter. You can see how thick this heel counter is. It's a cool design, but it also has a purpose. This doesn't have the same type of heel counter, and you can tell, look how kind of flexible this is. There's a little bit of a heel counter, but you can see how this flexes. Whereas you compare it to the newer cleats, you're not flexing this at all. That's gonna give you a lot more stability in the cleat. It's gonna protect your ankles a little bit more. It's gonna keep the heel of your foot on the bed of the cleat, which is gonna prevent injury. So point up for the new cleat on the heel counter. Next up, we're gonna stay with the heel and we're gonna look at the padding on the Achilles. I actually have Achilles tendonitis right now, so my Achilles is really tender when I'm playing, and I would appreciate a little bit more padding. Now I have had this cleat for a while. You would think that this is kind of broken and worn down, but if you look at it, you can tell that there is just more padding in the newer cleat. So you're 1 point up, another point for the new cleat. Next, we're gonna take a look at the actual fit of the cleat, and that's gonna be the internal booty. Something that the carbons are known for from 2010, from 2014, is going to be this sock-like liner. We call it an internal booty on the cleat. This is a one-piece construction. So if you look at it, even though it has laces in the upper, this is all pieced together, and it just slides onto your foot one piece. So you actually don't have a true tongue on this that you can lift away. And that is really gonna give a snug fit when it comes to the upper part of the upper around your ankle. What I don't like about this cleat is that even though it has a good fit, and we'll get to that, this has a separate tongue. that's going to change the look of the cleat on your foot, which I'll try to give you guys a preview of. It just changes the profile. It doesn't look as sleek on foot versus the older Vapor Carbon. So point for the old Vapor Carbons. Now there's more about the upper that was changed. The material is the same. The older Vapor Carbons did come in a variety of materials. This is actually a custom colorway that I did with Nike ID, so the material is a little bit different. So the upper is going to be the same. The material of the upper is going to be the same. But if you look at the number of eyelets and you look at even though they both have fly wire, you can count the number of eyelets. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 eyelets down the side. These cleats are the same size. And on this cleat, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 eyelets. So you've got an extra eyelet on this cleat. That's to show you that the uppers actually are a little bit different. The toe box on the cleat is a little bit different as well. Now in this cleat, I normally wear a size 12. In the older cleats, I have an 11.5 because the fit of the toe box just quite wasn't right. So what happens in this is my toes feel a little bit squished, especially on the pinky toe side, because these taper in a lot harder, a lot faster than the newer cleats. You can see here on the newer cleat, the shape of the toe box, that this is a lot wider. Now I still wear an 11.5. I've got both an 11.5 and a 12. The 11.5 is a little tighter, the way that I like my cleats to fit, but I have a little bit more room in the toe box so that pinky toe isn't getting squished. So point for the new cleats. And the last part that I'll talk about with these cleats, the differences, is going to be the insole. So the new cleats come with Nike Grip. I don't think they even had Nike Grip back in 2014 in the Vapor Carbons. Now Nike Grip is a grip system that works with Nike Grip socks that are going to prevent your foot from sliding. So if you have Nike Grip socks in a Nike Grip cleat or any footwear, you're really going to get a solid feel for it, and you're going to have less slippage, which is going to make you feel faster. So that's going to be another point for the new VCs. This is still going to be the winner overall, but for me, I still feel like this is going to be a better cleat, and that is going to be based on the look of the cleat and how fast I'm going to feel in the cleat, because I really like a carbon plate. The fact that they call these VCs, I really don't understand, because there's no carbon in it. Unless I'm mistaken and there's a carbon shank. If there is, someone definitely let me know in the comments. But as far as I know, there is no carbon shank. And so you've got Vapor Carbons and you've got something that looks like the Vapor Carbons. Still a phenomenal cleat. Because you can't get these anymore, this is probably going to be my favorite cleat that you can get out. So that's it. So if you like this video, be sure to give me a thumbs up, consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys next time.